So, after the issue with the human centipede and it kind of breaking me, I'm back. And we're back to the Venture Bros because we all love it. And today, we're going to be talking about everybody's favourite character, probably because we can all relate to him in one way or another, Henchman 21, or...
Fire! Wait up! It's not working!
As he's, well, less commonly known, Gary Fisher. And to start on 21's character development, we've really got to go back to before the show, where the 15-year-old tall fan kid was unfortunately kidnapped by the idiotic henchmen that are the Flushering Horde.
Now, because I was a huge kid, and because henchmen don't do that much research, I got kidnapped instead of Senator Nighthorse Campbell.
Dragged into a life of costumed villainy at a young age, 21 develops some interesting tendencies throughout the show. We see him in season 1, a fat, scared coward.
I've been gypped.
He might be the right amount of invulnerable and the right amount of incompetent for the monarch, but incompetency is really his forte. Most henchmen are willing to lay down their lives for their boss, but 21 would rather run. And he was the comic relief. Him and 24 would talk absolute bollocks about loads of weird nerdy stuff, and
She was a big girl. We are talking about a large, healthy woman of questionable stability.
Oh, you are totally underestimating the never-say-die scrappiness of a survivor!
Hey, guess what? Nobody cares who would win in a crazy fantasy fistfight between Anne Frank and Lizzie Borden.
And that's what they did. But at the end of season 1, 24 and 21 accidentally kill the Venture Brothers. And so begins his journey from comic relief to proper supervillain.
You're on a stick shift! I can't see the road!
Throughout season 2, him and 24 stay in very similar situation. Best friends doing the monarch's bidding until the end. Though, in Fallen Archers, we see the first glimpse of, well, 21 really branching out. After we see his nerdy collection in season 2, episode 2, we see his nerdy collection of gimmicks and nerd memorabilia.
Gentlemen, choose your weapon.
I will distribute the... Where? Are these they?
Yeah. And you have to admit it is a pretty formidable collection.
Later on in the series, we see him convincing 24 that maybe they can do this on their own. They steal a bunch of guild jetpacks, and well, they try and become their own supervillains. But
Are those what I think they are?
Only if you think they're jetpacks, because those are jetpacks.
Where'd you get those?
Spoils of war, my friend.
it doesn't really work out. 21 does not have the physique, mindset, or, well, the competence to be a villain. Or a superhero. Though, in the showdown at Cremation Creek, they sort of prove their worth. They are a surviving henchman that kind of became competent under the command of Brock Sampson. But it doesn't last very long.
Cut me some slack! I wasn't getting any altitude! I had to drop ballast! That's why my shoes aren't even on!
Who become excellent henchmen under the command of Brock Sampson. And in Season 3 we see this return as 21, 24 and Henchman 1 go on an elite super secret mission to Spider Skull Island.
21 and 24, front and center.
And henchman number 1.
And henchman number 1. I want you three to execute a dark S7 maneuver.
And now 24 and 21 know what they're doing. They know which routes are going to lead to booby traps. They are lucky sons of bitches. They're not going to go down spooky drowning tunnels. They're not going to step on tripwires. In fact, they're just going to pretend to be mannequins and drug up a pirate.
I've always wanted to try this, but the opportunity never comes up.
Yeah, poor guy missed out on like the greatest cliche in deception. Yeah, but then getting killed by Brock. It's a glorious way for Henchman to go.
And everything seems to be going their way. Now, invulnerable and competent, nothing could go wrong for them. Until the season 3 finale. 21 and 24 choose to sit out the final confrontation between the Monarch, the OSI, and the Venture Brothers, which would normally be fine.
Sure, Jelly Chip. They are not only cool, they are a ranch.
Totally. Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm creating realistic battle damage, so when we join them in the end, it'll look like we've seen some action.
Which would normally be the safest option. Unfortunately for them, and especially 21, is he leaves the Monarch Mobile as Helper sends it into battle. 24 has buckled his seatbelt.
Come on! I can't! My seatbelt was jammed!
Why did you buckle it? Why would you do that?
And we all know what happens. 24 and the car explode. The Monarch Mobile is sent everywhere, and 24's head falls into 21's arms. His only friend, his best friend, is now dead.
24! No! Ow!
And thus begins 21's real transformation. He is no longer going to cower in the backlines because he realizes it won't do him any good. He becomes an elite, badass fighting machine. In Blood of the Father, Heart of Steel, we see Henchman 21 has started to train. He has given up, at least temporarily, his wings. He has gone LARPing with his crew. He has stolen the X1, and he has become buff.
I knew that I had to become not only a henchman, but a leader of henchmen. I trained myself in the mystic arts.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning!
Returns to the Monarch, now ready to lead the fluttering horde. He dubs himself General 21. Everyone around him 2-ton 21. He's pretty agile for a fat guy, or a large guy, or whatever the Monarch says. But he's badass. He can now hold his own. He and the Monarch infiltrate.
It was 21! The 21! It's not even his number anymore. I mean, the guy is like Henchman 1 or something, but he won't change his number.
Why didn't you tell me that was 2-ton 21?
Also, back in Season 3, we see that 21 and 24 are not the best henchmen the Monarch has. We see the Pupa twins, or the Moppets, showing up, and they are teaching everybody a goddamn lesson. They will not let up on any of the henchmen, especially 21 and 24, bullying them into submission. But, yes, in Handsome Ransom we see 21 able to hold his own. They break in to... Him and the Monarch break in to Captain Sunshine's secret lair. And while he does get his butt kicked a little bit by Hank, who can blame him? Hank is becoming a badass.
That's Wonder Boy to you. Ow! Take that, bad guy!
He does really well. And in return to Malice, he manages to take out Sergeant Hatred and kidnap the Venture Bros. All on his own. Something that, the Monarch did in the previous episode, but it's proper super villain stuff. He is no longer some henchman. He is not even a sidekick. He is able to hold his own.
Thanks for you.
One is mint in box. The other is out of stock. Over.
Copy that. We'll handle it. Over. Dean. Hey, dude. Sleep heavy enough?
Continuing Season 4, we really see Henchman 21, 2-ton 21, leading the fluttering horde. In self-medication, 21 carries out an assassination mission all on his own and helps the Venture Brothers take out Sergeant Hatred as his drugs run out and he's getting a little bit crazy.
I watch. Bring her in close and hit him with both barrels.
In Pinstripes and Poltergeists, we see 21 truly... we see the true evolution of this character arc. While he's not finished his growth, this is the point where he has become a real man, able to now stand up to the one, the only Brock Sampson. Even
Boo. Ah, very nice. Somebody's been training.
lands a blow that makes him spit blood. They team up and take out Monstroso, who's both fucking over the Monarch and the Ventures all at the same time, and he deserves to be the Monarch's #1. In fact, at this point, he may be more competent than the Monarch himself. As in Diving Bell vs. Butterglider, he leads the fluttering horde to the Venture compound without following the Monarch's orders, and manages to wipe out Hatred and he manages to take out Sergeant Hatred again, and until the Monarch's final return at the end, probably would have done some real capturing.
So, we work for the Monarch. You see, we're what you might call on strike. So no Monarch, no Guild. No Guild, no Guild rules. We've gone rogue.
I don't know, whatever. Something like that. Any which way but Zeus, we see 21 all alone, fighting in a gladiatorial arena against Henchman 0. His former friend and now nemesis. He's able to take out Ghost Robot.
Then together we will fight against Zeus. On 3, you take Zeus and I will get the other guy. 1, 2, 3.
He's able to come up with a super secret plan to defeat Zeus and Henchman 0, with a little help from his ghost friend, who we're never quite sure if was a real ghost or was his imagination. But throughout Season 4, Henchman 24 has been following 21 as a ghost.
The guy behind you has a gun in his right pocket, and the guy behind the Monarch has an ether-soaked hanky. And you put your underwear on inside out again.
Able to tell him what's happening. Able to tell him what's going on in secret. Able to look through potentially a real ghost following 21 and helping him out in situations. Or potentially the manifestation of 21's self-confidence and grief. He's able to see things he couldn't before. He's able to think more clearly, able to think like a killer, like a henchman, maybe even like a villain. And throughout Anyway Which Way But Zeus, him and 24 come up with a plan to take out Henchman 0 and Zeus. Surely if to help, 21 manages to save all of the other sidekicks and lead them to freedom, while all the heroes and villains are doing what? Talking.
Captain Sunshine at you? That wasn't my plan. That is.
Because 21 gets shit done. But as the season comes to a close, 21's grief starts to get a little bit worse and worse. He's now communicating a lot with the skull of his best friend 24. In a sort of creepy way, even though the Monarch does it with his cat, which is still creepy, but a little bit less so. In Assisted Suicide, we see 21 admit his feelings for Dr. Mrs. the Monarch.
Oh, maybe like me.
As the Monarch is doing some sort of brain assassination, 21 and Dr. Mrs. the Monarch spend a tender night together. They kiss, they cheerlead, they talk about feelings. And 21 seems to be realizing what a dark place he's in at the moment. He is not dealing with his grief particularly well. Getting buff is cool and all, but it's not the best mentally. And in Operation Prom, he buries 24's skull. Talks to Dr. Orpheus, who seems to banish this ghost, leaving 21 all alone.
But it's over.
I love you too. Come get a hug.
No, not you. I'm talking to my dead friend.
Oh, ghost. That's my game.
He confronts the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend about his feelings, who, as villains, tell him they swing, and that what happened was not really that big a deal, because they do that shit all the time. 21 freaks out and quits the Fluttering Horde, leaving him all alone.
Drunk, I'm talking to a ghost of my fucking dead friend. I'm probably in love with you, and so yeah, whatever. I'm over it.
You're over it?
You're in love with me?
He no longer has 24. He no longer has the Monarch or Dr. Girlfriend. He no longer has the Fluttering Horde. He tries to join Sphinx, but at the end of, or at the start of Season 5, we see Sphinx heading off back to join the OSI, leaving 21 all on his lonesome as Sphinx Commander. And it seems to be going alright for him. He continues to patrol the Sphinx headquarters ground, helping out the Team Venture as a good guy in what colour is your clean suit. Honestly, leading the Venture team, potentially saving lives. He's able to fight the Monarch's deadly Moppets, and he does a good job, able to capture them before they escape. In Sphinx Rising, we see 21 building up a team. He, trying to be a good guy and a hero now, puts out a call to action. Unfortunately for him, the team he recruits are the old, evil Sphinx team. But of course, how could he know that? And Hank, who's now dressed up in a power suit and whoosha, ready to kick butt as Destiny.
Front and center!
Christmas, she is a lively one.
Of course, 21 really doesn't have the edge at the moment. He's sort of fallen apart. Without anyone to guide him, 21's not really sure what he's doing, though. And as he tries to do good as the Sphinx Commander, he and Hank are captured by the real Sphinx on a one-way suicide mission to take out the OSI. Of course, Brock and Shawleaf stop it, and 21 gets himself a cool crossbow.
You know, I was thinking that this kinda looked better on you. You work it like a Wookiee.
But because of the Sphinx attack, 21 is now lost a bit of his technology and his heroic edge. After realizing that there's probably more to being a good guy than just kicking butt. As he gets a telling off from Brock and Shawleaf at the start of the episode. But in Mama's Boys, he realizes that what he needs to do is help people, and he tries to help Hank. Dean's been kidnapped or gone away somewhere. Hank and Dermot need to find Teddy Talks to Me to convince their dad to stop ringing Dermot, and 21 comes up with a plan. He becomes a supervillain, the Viceroy.
I'm the Viceroy! I mimic the monarch butterfly, and I am obsessed with monarchs, so I mimic them!
They infiltrate Dunwich Asylum and perform an entire breakout. When 21 has proper motivation, proper guidance, he is a badass, but he's not the best at coming up with the plan on his own. Or even he is good at coming up with the plan, but he's not good at, well, the sort of motivation. Hank's the motivator, or the Monarch's the motivator, or, well, anybody, but less of himself. He's just lacking that self-confidence in Season 5. But in the Devil's Grip, his self-confidence returns. Armed with only a stick, him and Sergeant Hatred go on an epic quest to take out the Monarch who's captured Dr. Venture. 21 infiltrates the fluttering horde with hatred in tow. They make their way through the cocoon, only to be separated by the Moppets, who easily defeat hatred, but upon facing 21, he is no longer the weak, fat henchman to be bullied around. He stands up for himself. He rallies the troops to defeat the Moppets.
Let's show him how you two are taking over the cocoon.
He'll never believe you.
Oh, he'll believe his best henchman over a lying murderer. I know it was you guys.
Seize the traitor!
Wait! The Moppets have broken our most sacred law. They killed Henchman 24. Hench has killed Hench.
And unfortunately, Hatred blasts the cocoon with his hover tank, causing it to crash into the Monarch's new house, or Phantom Limb's old house, where the Monarch reveals that he doesn't even know Henchman 21's real name. But it's fine, because they're back.
Who the fuck is Gary?
21 and the Monarch are back as the Fluttering Horde. We see that in All That and Gargantua 2, where they infiltrate the Venture compound, steal a rocket, and head into space together. Of course, it doesn't work out the best for them, and they are relegated back to the Monarch's old family home. Fortunately, 21 ends up leading the renovation efforts. Feel good in the hood, because they stumble across the Monarch's father's secret lair. They become the Blue Morpho and Kano.
To the Morpho-mobile!
We see 21 in his element. He's part good guy, part anti-hero, part henchman, part sidekick. The Monarch is telling him what to do, and he is following those orders like a motherfucking badass. We see him take out numerous level 10 villains. We see him fully transform into not the Monarch's number 2, but the Monarch's partner. As Dr. Mrs. the Monarch has gone on to greater things, the Monarch and Gary, 21, have now formed a proper partnership. They live together, they dance together. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they slept together at some point during that sort of year. Well, 21 has not managed to kill all of these supervillains. Some of them are locked in a basement. Eventually they speak to Red Death, and it all seems to be going well. Until Season 7. PTSD is getting to 21.
I left my penis in the bathroom. Can I go get it?
Here, you can use mine.
We can't give Gary help. Night school isn't for friends. It's for killers.
Can I take this course?
He's never really dealt with his grief properly. He's not become super healthy. He's still the Monarch's sidekick, and he shows up late to an assassination of Wide Whale. Everything seems like it could be coming to an end as the Monarch is captured, but 21 tells Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, and they lead a rescue attempt with the one and only Red Death. We see the Monarch and 21 training up a new villain. We see them carrying out assassination missions on their own, even managing to break into the Venture compound guarded by Brock Sampson and Sergeant Hatred and escape with 2 teleporters. They've become a dream team. And in the finale, 21 is offered his own villainship.
You have earned the station of villain.
Wait, what? This wasn't in my script. Like, me or my character? Me?
You, Henchman 21, have earned the title of a level 4 supervillain.
But he turns it down. The Monarch obviously is annoyed at this because it's another trick from the girl. But this isn't what Henchman 21 wants. He doesn't want to strike out on his own. He's not a hero. He's not a villain. He's someone that helps people. And the people he's helped are Hank and the Monarch.
You know what? Me too! I don't want to have to be a villain without him. I don't have that kind of staff racks grudge. I just want to help my best friend with his hate. You guys, Monarch crew, hench for life.
He wants to help the Monarch with his hatred. He wants to help Hank, well, not kill people and sort of figure out his life. So hopefully, in the movie, we'll get to see some more 21 on Hank action. I'd love to see another fight scene between them, especially the Bat versus 2-ton 21, number 1 of the Fluttering Horde. But yeah, what a fucking journey 21 went on. I mean, it's one we all wish we could go on. From this to, like, true badass action star, able to fully backflip. Which, I mean, is, like, the goal, isn't it? So, 21. I don't know how long this video is. God, it feels long. So, tell me what you think. Tell me what I missed. Tell me more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.